allow the two children to have the budget. It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. She off your mind, like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. Man of the masses, my ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Aha, now you not done here. All these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want to make the common man get what he supposed get for this country. And I never hear something. Now go hear one, my ego. You go show na paper. My ego diary political. So my people make you shout, oh yo yo. My Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary láyé bí number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o. lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary, na him be number one.
àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ o làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, na him be number one.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun ma wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun ma wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun ma wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun ma wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun ma wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun.
Hello there, brethren. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Mayegun live. And remember, after reading the caption of the broadcast, kindly read the description as well. For the brunch time, it is not fully like loaded because it is interactive. It is an open mic session of Mayegun's Diary Political. So you can phone in anytime to add your own view, as we love to call it, opinion on what we are talking about, or maybe something else we have spoken about before. That's the drill, the rule. And if you have read the caption, the description, like the broadcast, okay? Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun's brunch time is live. So let's get started. I don't know where you have been, but I bet some of you that will be watching this broadcast have probably come across the increased awareness on the killings in Nigeria, which has never really stopped. But the sudden awareness, as many are trying to control the narrative as it is, you probably have noticed that conversation online as well. If you have been online in the last 48 hours, it got kind of like hotter yesterday when some of the closet jihadists, the closet terrorists, the closet terror sympathizers, terrorist apologists, all sprout out from God knows where, their usual sewage, I think. So raise their voice against the loud awareness on the ongoing genocide against the indigenous people of Nigeria, who are mostly considered as Christians, by the way. So what happened? At least if you are from Nigeria, except if you have been living in denial all this while, none of the news of the killings in Nigeria would possibly shock you. Not like shock you anymore, other than being human, and then hearing that terrorists have killed a certain number of people, probably unsettle you as human, but not shock you anymore. The criminals in government in Nigeria have tried their best over the years to normalize this madness. They have created different schemes to ease out these terrorists from judgment. And the supposed locals, especially Muslims, I'll use that because I am not going to like to generalize for easy comprehension and understanding, as much as that's what I want to achieve. right? The killings in Nigeria, right, has affected everyone, whether you are a Christian, a Muslim, or you are an atheist, or somebody who doesn't even practice any religion. You are not spared the level of a carnage unleashed on Nigeria in the last decade, at least, from Boko Haram to ISWAP to Lakurawa to Fulani terrorists and other wannabes who have now resorted into the copycats who have now resorted into kidnapping people for ransom too, all across the country. This used to be so alien, as corrupt as they have claimed Nigeria has been, as poor as Nigeria has been over the decades, right? Terrorism is something that is completely out of the play until APC, Egbekegbe, CPC, ACN, New PDP, ANPP, and all these stalwart of rogues decided that it was time to take over power in Nigeria. And in that process, they imported all kinds of terrorism into Nigeria, all kinds of terrorists into Nigeria, that when they got power, to get rid of them became almost impossible. Well, like impossible. Because if it was during the time of Boko Haram, people would say, oh, it's because he was a Fulani, or he's a Northerner, or it's because he's a Muslim, or it's because he's a fanatic. Then you have a Southerner, another pretentious Muslim too, Kalu, which has aggravated even the problem more. Rather, he himself is also placating these terrorists. So now, in the United Nations, where Shitty Man went to represent Tinubu, he was there advocating for the right of the Gazans, the Palestinians, to statehood, to protection and other stuff, safety and other from Israel. And surprisingly, he never mentioned Nigeria and what Nigeria is actually facing the world stage. He didn't. Then social media became agog. Oh, it was a wonderful speech. It was the amazing speech. The blah, the blah. Then the day after that, right? Another gathering in that same America where they are discussing the killings suffered by Christians. This is like gathering of Christians, put it that way. Christians, and they're like, oh, they're talking about the killings in Nigeria, that from the record, which is true, for every for every 10 Christians killed daily all over the world, right? It is guaranteed that 8 of them are from Nigeria, are in Nigeria. Now that's staggering. So they threw a number and they said over 500,000 people have been killed by Islamic terrorists. While others were like, no, they were being killed by Muslims. And that is the erroneous allegation, which is practically not true. But two truths can coexist. Sure, you know. Muslims are not killing Christians in Nigeria. That is true. Are Christians and Muslims being killed in Nigeria? It is also true. But are those who are killing, the terrorists who are killing Nigerians, especially targeting the Christians community, are they claiming that they are Muslims or not? Yes, they are. We call them jihadists. And they even have their own tribes too. Do you get that now? So they are enabled by the rogues in government who, rather than crush these terrorists, have chosen to placate them, to pamper them, right? So what happened? The closeted jihadists, they came out of their closet, so to say, because talking about Christians being killed, at the same time they push for Sharia law, blasphemy in Nigeria, and the purpose to make sure that people are sentenced to death for whatever they say about your religion or about your prophet. Like, why would you kill anybody because of your prophet? Why would any sane person actually come out and say, if you abuse my prophet, I will kill you. In that country that was supposed to be, what do you call that thing again? A country where you are supposed to have a flexibility of religion, be multi-religious society, educated people. So yesterday, a case, no, it wasn't yesterday, rather. It was on Friday, rather. On Friday, a case of a young man that is being sued, right, into the court, right? He's being sued for blasphemy, and his accusers, they are asking him to be killed. So a video was released in the course of that United Nations, this and that, right? So a video was released, and it was like but it was a report released by Reuters, and it was about this court case where they want to sentence somebody to death for blasphemy, for talking about dear Muhammad and all of that stuff. So people started reacting like, this is absolute rubbish. It is, I mean, isn't it better for the supposed Sharia Arewa in Nigeria to have their own country rather than try to, push this their blasphemy nonsense on other people? As much as some of them are saying that blasphemy, I mean, their Sharia is not for non-Muslims, it is just for Muslims and other bullshit. With what they are practicing in northern Nigeria, right? Any fool that subscribe to this their Sharia, this their political Sharia in any part of Nigeria, should not be pity when they have their heads dangling, right, on the ground, slaughtered by this murderous terrorist, closest one. Now, talking about those who are killing Christians and Muslims in northern part of Nigeria, those existing, yes. Are Christians communities more affected than the Muslim communities? Maybe yes. You know why? In the middle belt part of Nigeria, tens of thousands and millions of people have become victims of this direct and indirect violence orchestrated by these terrorists, right? Whether they are Fulani terrorists or when you see the Fulani terrorists, those who are Fulanis in northern Nigeria, or maybe not even northern Nigeria, they will become mute when the atrocities of the Fulani terrorists are being kind of like, highlighted, so to say. Then you have the Boko Haram terrorists. Now, for the Fulani terrorists in particular, their own targeted areas are the areas that are known to be Christian communities. Baba, the Boko Haram, the Fulani terrorists are famous, right? If not every week, probably every month, of kidnapping Christian leaders. In this sense, so kidnapping Christian leaders like Catholic Reverend Fathers or what have you, and slaughtering them, killing them, shouting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. But for those whose argument was that the Christians are making too much noise, like they are the only victims. These are the hypocrites. These are the hypocrites. These are the mofos, right? That are closet terrorists. Because guess what? It is true, like I said, it is true that Muslims are also being slaughtered by these murderous terrorists. Boko Haram have killed some prominent, maybe not prominent, but vocal Islamic scholars in northern part of Nigeria, in states like Sokoto, Katsina, even in Kaduna. They've picked some of these outspoken clerics who condemned this act of terrorism. Do you get that now? They have kidnapped and killed them. Worshippers, Muslims, have been attacked inside their mosque, at least as recent as even this month. We've witnessed 2 attacks on Muslims inside their mosque. But there was never a time that when these terrorists who carried out these attacks did, that you will see the ones who became offended Because America is talking about, the Americans are talking about the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. None of them was ever so enraged that you would even notice it and say, man, you know what I mean? Like enraged by any of these killings of Muslims inside their mosque. Because in northern part of Nigeria, for your information, as much as they wanted to believe that, they have this Muslim majority, they don't have Muslim majority to start with. However, even that Islam or whatever they practice in northern Nigeria is also classed. Even among themselves, they still believe that there are some people that are not practicing real Islam. And it's not because the Islam they are practicing is different. It's because of who they are. Do you understand that now? Oh, I'm a Fulani. A Fulani is believed to be a pure Muslim. An Hausa is not a pure Muslim to an average Fulani. To them, an Hausa, they are not, you know what I mean? And I'm saying this because this is people's experience in that place. So that's kind of class segregation that exists. But the Christians have been very, very vocal because there are evidences of their churches being burned down by these jihadists, right? We have seen people who are captured. They are not Muslims. They are kidnapped from their communities, Christian communities. Now, these are the existing stuff. And there have been also reprisals. Reprisal attacks are when people feel like they've had enough and they go on and target the soft target. Like when a community, well, like Christian community or so, decided to say, okay, you know what, we are going to go and attack that community. They are Muslims. And like, I'm not going to say that that doesn't exist as well, but we are talking about the systemic genocide of indigenous people in that supposed Nigeria that has been going on now for over a decade. There are certain group of people responsible for this, and they are claiming to be Muslims because they are shouting Allahu Akbar. They are jihadists. The jihadists that says, the Boko Haram says that until all of us turn to Muslim, they will kill all of us. We are infidel. Don't pretend that you don't know that. Or you were not aware of that. The Fulani terrorists are coming and they are claiming that like Nigeria land was willed to their own great-grandfather, Uthman Dan Fodio. Don't pretend that as much as you will laugh and say, they are just joking. They are just talking nonsense. As much as you probably will laugh or brush it aside, but don't pretend that there are not those who believe in this and they are actually carrying out killings based on this. So they are offended. They said, talking about the killings now is like making it look like the Muslims are killing Christians. No, Muslims are not killing Christians. Christians are not killing Muslims in Nigeria. That narrative is yours if you believe that. By their verified, coordinated religious attacks, religious killings. And when we say religious killing, a Christian's genocide in Nigeria right now, the answer is yes. Is the government doing anything at all, by any chance, to protect the lives of these Nigerians, Christians, Muslims, and the people they call the non-believers? The answer is no. They pretend to be, but that is actually not what we are seeing. Kwara State is becoming the new Benue, unfortunately. Kwara State. Kwara is also a tribally divided kind of a state where those who have the Fulani, the Fulani blood, so to say, sees themselves as probably superior to some extent. I don't know if that is just a misconception, so to say. However, the southern part of Kwara State for over 2 years now, the last 1 year has been a hell for this, for the inhabitants of this part of Kwara State. At a point, their government seemed just didn't care. Like, one thing that criminal politicians in Nigeria have managed to perfect is the art of, pretending that nothing is happening. And it is the art of just keeping quiet. 50 people killed in Katsina, 40 people killed in Zamfara, and over 60 people were also killed in Borno. Just don't say anything. It will blow over. When you are expecting, because when you are expecting your government to say something and say, what are you doing about this whole thing? They will say nothing. And the news will come. People will read it. They will see the videos. They will just move on to something else. But if maybe Tifnubu comes out and say, we will make sure that these killers, they are arrested. Now you have interest. Shut up your mouth, you useless government. You will know you will not do anything. They are killing us and all of that. You react. So to them, the art of not saying anything works well. Oh, they've just kidnapped over 100 people in Nasarawa. Don't say anything. Don't confirm. Don't deny. Just don't say anything. And then people will move on. They will just be ranting in their Korman. As for the victims, again, don't say anything. You get what I mean? So they've learned that art of not saying anything. And people will just have to move on. You know? But this time around, they had to say something. And what they said in this regard is to denounce any genocide going on. And that's where they are killing over 1,000 people. Over 1,000 people every month. And some people are just going to be like, how is that possible? Okay, yeah, let's see. So 1,000. Does that mean that they are killing 12,000 people? I am being conservative, Baba. We are talking about over 500,000 people slaughtered. And they are not right there in front of your screen. You are not at war, but people are dying. And that could be you. It could be anybody related to you in any part. There are those who are slaughtering them because Allah willed this Nigeria to their great-grandfather, Uthman Dan Fodio. And the educated ones who pretended to be educated, they will try to gaslight you, make it look like you are exaggerating things. You are trying to, you get what I mean? When all you are pure doing is to bring attention to what is likely going to consume all of us. I mean, Shittiman went to some place called the United Nations. He was talking about Gaza. There's no word about Nigeria. It's that video.
We speak of the violence and aggression visited upon innocent civilians in Gaza, the illegal attack on Qatar, and the tensions that scar the wider region. It is not only because of the culture of impunity that makes such acts intolerable, but because our own bitter experience has taught us that such violence never ends wide.
Maiduguri Elon Musk. He was there. A low-budget Elon Musk. He was there talking about Gaza. He spoke for 19 minutes. I don't want to bore you with all of that. He had to say there. There's no single word about the people that have been slaughtered in Nigeria by disorganized terrorists that are boldly coming out to do peace meeting. Peace with terrorists. Do you know how many communities where they've had to do mass burials? Mass burials for Christians, mass burials for Muslims, and then you put them side by side and you're like, these are meant to be Nigerians slaughtered by Islamic murderers, Islamic terrorists, or better put, the jihadists. And a lot of them, when you look at them, you probably will say, this is where the argument of those who are Muslims, this is where their own argument is probably like based on, right? They're like, don't call them Islamic terrorists. These are pure terrorists. They are criminals. Because majority of them have never even touched Quran. They can't, even if they open Quran for them to read, they can't read anything. These are a bunch of criminals, hired by criminals who have whatever agenda they are pursuing. But the government is the best place to probably destroy them. And I wanted to say, well, looks valid. That argument seems valid, right? If you have taken a look at some of these rogues, truly, I don't think a lot of, many of them could be able to actually read their Quran, but they are shouting their Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, because they believe they are fighting jihad as jihadists. So those who are Muslims, this is the thing, those who are Muslims who feel so strong about this whole thing, right? But somehow they are only upset or only angry when you begin to call these terrorists out. And by chance, like I just did, call them Islamic terrorists, then you are going to see a moderate Muslim who is going to tell you that you are just ignorant. Let me explain something to you. These people don't speak for us. Where were you? I have never read anything from you about these killings. How come you are now here to educate me, the ignorant one? I never had you educate the terrorists and tell them that this is un-Islamic, this is this or that. You know what I mean? Like, but they are more upset when you react because you are the ignorant one. You are the one who doesn't know what he's saying. You don't know what you're saying. Do you know that these people are not agreed? But you are more angry with me than you are with them who are bringing that shame, that to the religion. Because their actions will always kind of like trigger a counter or opposite reactions to say. So I'm not trying to pass blame here right now. No. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy of not speaking up. But at the same time, when these rogues, these terrorists carried out their terrorist attacks, right? Like I'm talking about come out boldly, speak up against them. But no, they will just mellow. So is it like out of fear that you are afraid of them too? As a Muslim, you are afraid of them. So you would rather not just say anything about them. Anybody who's try to link them to Islam, that person will receive anything you want, like you will face that person. You will, because you cannot let anybody stain your religion. These are murderers doing religious cleansing, ethnic cleansing in the name of religion in northern part of Nigeria, and it's spreading, it's coming down south. Slowly but surely. So you should be angry. You should be upset. That should really, in fact, upset you more than people like us who are infidels. Those who don't know anything. Because people like me can easily accept that I don't know anything about your religion. If that makes you feel better, okay, I don't know anything. So, but you would have to possibly fight those who you believe are not representing your religion, rather than say, you see, let me tell you, I don't know, there's this image, there's this cartoon, it was very popular online, right? Where one jihadist wanted to cut off the head of his victim, right? And another Muslim was passing. And that Muslim was like, hey, this thing he is doing to you, it has nothing to do with Islam. And he just walked away. He couldn't face the guy with the knife and say, what you are doing is un-Islamic, because he's afraid of his own life too, I think. He's probably happy that the person is doing what he would love to do, but he's just not got the balls to do. Terrorism. Are they killing Nigerians in Nigeria because they are Christians? The answer is yes, and more. Do the terrorists walk into a community and they ask people there, the Christians this side, Muslims this side? No, they don't. And that's why they don't attack any community at random. So don't be stupid. Terrorists don't attack anywhere at random. They surveil, they move around, they get everything around until the day they will attack. That is why, from people who have survived the attacks, given their own evidence of, see, we used to have these Fulanis here. They used to be around our community here. We see them around and all that. They've been here for a while. But a day before they attacked us, a day before terrorists attacked us, these Fulani disappeared. They packed up their wives, their children, their everything, disappeared. So if you are an investigative officer, right, you have to put a piece and piece together, and you're going to get your answer easily. You get me now? So the terrorists are not, they don't attack anywhere randomly. Like, oh, you know what? Let us go and attack that place. Let us go to, no. When they have their camp anywhere next to your state or to your city or to your community, right? Once they have their camp in that forest, the next is that they will survey everywhere, surveillance of the entire area, pick up the intel that they need, and they know this particular community is a majorly Christian community. They only have one mosque here. Oh, this particular one is a Muslim community. They even have this or that. Or that place, they have a Seriki. Seriki is their leader there. Or that one, you know what I mean? They do that. So don't act like that's a big thing, that they are doing it randomly. They just walk about like blindly. Yeah, let's go here and kill them. No. Like what they are doing in Kwara State right now. That's not random. They killed 15 vigilantes. Prior to that, I mean, I shared videos with you yesterday, right? Where some of these terrorists were caught. Okay? So, terrorists were caught in different parts of this Ifelodun local government area, okay? Which is a Yoruba community, a Yoruba local government and all that, majorly. All right? So, then people moved to the bigger side, which is Okeode, right? From Babanla, communities called Babanla and others like that, right? So they've been attacked. Out of fear, the people migrated to the bigger town called Okeode. That's a bigger town. They said that one is more populated, with the confidence that the terrorists won't even dare to come there with this number of people. Okeode has been under attacks severally. I mean, this is going to be like about the 4th attack. They killed 15 vigilantes, the local vigilantes that are providing this security, defending the people, arresting some of these terrorists. Unfortunately, when they arrest the terrorists, I think they just end up releasing them. Yeah. They just end up releasing them, I think. So now, Okeode in Ifelodun has been hit harder by these terrorists. You know? So, a community like that, or the people who have become the victims in that sense, you may not have to refer to them as Muslims or Christians, but like I said, the real base for these killings is ethnic cleansing, tribal cleansing, garbed in religious stuff. So those who are like, let's say those who are like Muslims, for example, that are supporting these terrorists, to them, they are brothers. We are all Muslims, so they're just killing the infidels. Even though we are not supporting these killings, but they support the killings. For every Christian either killed or converted, it has to be something. Unbeliever, infidel. Do you know how filthy those words are? And do you actually know that they treat people filthily like that too? The hatred, the level of disdain or being a disgust that they have for people they believe are not Muslims like them. No matter how much they pretend, oh, we are the same, we are brothers. We are not brothers. Get the hell out of here. The moment you have the opportunity of cutting off my head, you won't even think it twice. There are people like you that are afraid to condemn murderers, terrorists, because you think they are your brothers. But you are much, much angry or angrier when somebody talks about them, because to you, that person is indirectly attacking Islam, and you will never accept that. Those who are destroying the Islam are these terrorists that you should be strongly condemning. The ones that makes this religion of peace to be interpreted differently. You should be upset with them. They are wielding dangerous war weapons comfortably, conveniently all over the place. And they are picking the body. I mean, they are leaving bodies behind. These are the bodies of supposed Nigerians, whether they are Christians or Muslims or anything. There is no end in sight. And there will probably be no end in sight at all until when the BC is completely, destroyed. They have to be destroyed. APC, Egbekebe, and everything that is associated with them. A systemic cleansing, tribal ethnic cleansing, religious killings, and the criminal politicians will downplay it simply because it is politically, plausible to do that. Now going forward, okay, I'm going to stay in that Ilorin. Even though shitty man, there's some I wanted to share about a shitty man, but I can come back to that shitty man later, all right? Because after leaving these United Nations, right, he went straight to Germany. And I'll come back to that, all right? But let's go to Ilorin. See, the Kwara youth were out yesterday protesting about this same Fulani terrorist killing people needlessly. And it seems that there is almost nothing the people can do or are allowed to do when the terrorists are getting the soft landing from the criminal government. They're supposed to provide security for you. So protest. It won't change anything. But they did, sure.
Look at people are promote for their village. People are living their village.
See? So that's their situation. Those who have nowhere to go are hanging around, protesting, while those who have somewhere to probably park and go to, they are packing all their stuffs, leaving their homes, leaving their lands with no specific time of return. Just go somewhere and hope that maybe someday it will be safe again to go back to your community. Those are the victims of this ongoing jihadist war on Nigeria. The major war that has caused significant, changes in your supposed economy, your lives, your livings and everything. And yet, they are not really, crushing them is not the real priority of the roles in government. Every day they come to you and tell you, why they can't do what you are thinking they should do. Because on the one hand, they will tell you that Nigeria is not at war. On the second hand, they will tell you that during war, prisoner of war, there's a rule of law for war. Like, are you people just intentionally mad? Do you get that? And then the terrorists feel like, well, it's safe here. No matter what these guys are saying, let them keep ranting. Those who decide things sees it differently, and therefore they see it our way, the terrorist way. What do you expect the citizens to do? How do you expect the people to process what they are seeing with their two eyes as so abnormal, but they are prevented from speaking up? What do you expect the citizens to do? Watching their own senior military officers mingling with murderous terrorists who are wielding dangerous weapons right in front of the cameras, speaking directly to the media, stating reasons why they are killing people and why they will continue if the government failed to back down from attacking them and all that. Like broad daylight, Baba. Yeah? How do you want people to react? Just to keep quiet and pretend that, just listen to what we say to you. Don't listen to what the likes of Mayegun and others are telling you. They just want to cause trouble. We are telling you the truth. So what happened is that the terrorists are your brothers. Let's be our brothers' keepers. Criminals in government. Criminals in government. Put it that way. In Casino in Faskari, yesterday, they were still having what they call the peace meeting with terrorists in Faskari. In Dusima, rather. It's called Dusima. They were doing peace meeting with terrorists, kidnappers. And after the meeting, those one went home with, and their guns and their bikes. Somebody said, with all these bikes, it is enough to tell you that these guys are not far from the location where they are doing the peace meeting. If they are riding bikes back to their base, that means they are not far from there. The government is in support of that, no matter what they are telling you or what they are trying to make you believe. This is not normal. And there are so many of us who believe that this is not normal.
Can see the amalgamation out.
That's another one. The Dusima terrorist.
Sabida abun da ke akwai kamar mutanen mu da zamu nema idan da za a dauke su a bamu ko kadin aka kira mu wallahi tallahi zamu je ba inda muke tsoro amma abun da yasa wannan abun yake dan tada mana hankali yana ba mu tsoro in kun dauki alƙawari ba ku cika a ƙarshe cikin zaman nan cikin wannan tahiya akwai mutanen safa na local government ko manya ko ƙanana akwai su kaga magaji nan shi muke ɗaukar sunaye mu bada har inda muke yanzu ba mutum ɗaya wanda muka gane. To wannan abun yana ba mu tsoro don Allah ku daure ku taimaka kamar yadda kuke kiran mu ɗauki abun da kuke bukata mu baku idan muka nema mu ma don Allah ku daure ku cika mun alƙoli ku ɗauka ku ba mu wannan abun ba wayo bane. Gwalgwadon hali mu ma wayon nan muna da shi gwalgwadon ikon abun da Allah ya bamu. Muna da namu wayo haka muna ganin mutumin da za a dauki yan kuɗaɗe a bamu mu yi haƙuri mu ɗauka mu bayar don mun ɗauki alƙawalin cewar za mu bada to ku daure kun ji damuwan mu abun da ke akwai kashi na biyu yanzu zan nemi ci morore ƙorahe-ƙorahen da gare su na ɓangaren mutanen turare. Akwai wata 'yar damuwar da ke tsakanin mutanen yankin turare da filane su. Akwai 'yan kace-kace da sauransu. Na gayyato su za su hito su faɗi ƙorahinsu da damuwarsu a ɗauki mataki, sannan kar mu zo yau mu taru daga yau ku tafi gida ku ce an yi sulhu an zanna lahiya, ku rika tuntuba. Akwai shaidan. Kuma kuna da mutane masu wuyar kai. Ku
That was in Dusima, in northern part of Nigeria yesterday. To them, sites like that is actually normal. That is the definition of peace. It's normal. When you go to some community, or let's say when these terrorists arrive at some communities, they are welcome. Not like they probably have any real choice per se, but just so you know how comfortable the terrorists actually are in Nigeria. Enough that you can say, oh, this ragtag terrorists wielding weapons and all of that, and conveniently, confidently could walk straight into a government-arranged peace talk with their guns and confidently, again, or triumphantly leave the venue to say, yeah, we got all we wanted. Yeah, boys, you happy? Okay, this and that. And they make videos to share with me and you that now analysts unabi, those of you who are experts, economic experts, security experts, and all of those kind of experts who are trying to analyze Nigeria from the logic point of view, when you know that most of the things happening in that place are completely illogical. They are not normal. And why are they existing? Because they are allowed. It is what is allowed that fester, I think. Yeah. When something is not right and you intend to get rid of it, right? It might take a while, but eventually it will cease. But when it is allowed, it germinates, right? It multiplies. And that is what you are dealing with right now, unfortunately. And there are victims. As they are going, there are victims on the path, all of that. The criminal police who are supposed to really do their job are busy with something else, of course. If they are not doing that, they will be somewhere else singing, as you they call me, Toto de sweet, oh, as you they call me, so Toto de sweet, or something like that. Police. You don't call them to attend to a terrorist attack. They won't even pick. Gone are the days when we used to be worried that the most dangerous crime in Nigeria then was an armed robbery, wasn't it? Today, if you are going on the road, stop. The first thing that will cross your mind is not that they are armed robbers. Jesus Christ, they are kidnappers. They are kidnappers. They are kidnappers. Jesus Christ. And then once they come and say, hey, where's your phone? Where's your phone? Where, your money, your money. Oh God, here. Everything. Right? Give us your car. They take your car. You begin to say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, the armed robbers. Thank you, Jesus, the armed robbers. They are not kidnappers. That is the state they have brought Nigerians now. That you will be so glad that even if armed robbers, if armed robbers will lead you, rob you, and worst case scenario, they even shoot you, and you didn't die, because they can shoot you and you may die as well, which is tragic. I'm just saying, like, that used to be the most serious crime. But if they arrest you, or like then, if they arrested you for armed robbery, people will just be like, come on, forget it, you are done for. They don't arrest them for armed robbery. You are finished. Kind of. But right now, I don't even know if they arrest armed robbers anymore. Or maybe some of the armed robbers themselves have decided that, you know what, robbing people of their car, and it is not enough. Let's take all of them. And if we take 10 million on these 5 people, and 10 million on these 5 people, that's going to be like 50 million naira. That's better than just robbing a car of 10 million and collecting valuables that is not even up to 10 million. I'm just thinking, maybe some of the terrorists, some of the kidnappers themselves, some of the armed robbers themselves have now, switched, because I barely hear armed robbery anymore. Armed robbers, they are robbing there. No. Kidnapping is now the most lucrative of them all. And you are likely to get away with it. Because now that we are in the world where we know the supreme kidnappers in Nigeria, the Fulani terrorists, many Nigerians have been kidnapped, and they've discovered that their kidnappers have been non-Fulanis. Do you understand? Because right now, once you are kidnapped, you say, Fulani, they must be Fulani terrorists because they are everywhere. Of course, we have seen the wannabes too, from southern part of Nigeria, who have resorted into kidnapping their own kings. Right? But the Fulani still hold TAs. They are still the boldest. They will kidnap, collect ransom, kill, commit arson, and still come to the public and participate in a peace deal, even when the killings are still ongoing. But they are talking about peace here, peace there. But they are still murdering people, slaughtering people. Like they did in Kwara State yesterday, in Peludum. On Sunday, 7:30 a.m. in the morning. It's not even in the middle of the night. 7:30 a.m. in the morning was when they struck Ode. 15 supposed vigilantes and were slaughtered, targeted, and killed. Their killers have absconded, of course. So maybe Kwara State is where you're going to see these terrorists come out again and say, we are the ones killing you. We are here for peace. Here is our terms for peace. And no thanks to the rogues who have enough weapons to crush protests. modern Nigerians. But they have less to confront these murderous armed terrorists. So yeah, they are killing Christians in Nigeria. It never seen before. And the Christians are being vocal enough about it, not their own about GOs and the rest per se, because they would rather ask you to pray while they continue to slaughter your throat, murder your women and children in their sleep. They say, let us pray. But those who are vocal enough should not be shut down simply because you think the Christians as well should be possibly like carrying the stories, or what do you call it, of the Muslims slaughtered too, while you, who are supposed to be the genuine Muslims, who knows all this killing is happening, but you chose to be quiet, only upset when people react and stuff like this comes on. You know, you wish something happens, but really nothing will happen. Fortunately, we wish something happened, but they won't let it happen. You know, they are still sentencing people, like they are taking people to court for blasphemy. And the supposed moderate Muslims, educated Muslims, they are not out there forefront of it to condemn that. They are saying that their religion is religion that is not forceful, but you are looking at a terrorist who are using the supposed religious instrument to want to kill somebody for saying something about Muhammad, for saying something about war, and saying, not doing anything, saying, which indeed could be complete fabrication. We have had people, a woman, there's a story of a woman who got killed simply because he objected to this supposed Muslim that loves to come and pray in front of our shop. She complained, and this person went on to go and call the mob and told them that he has said so and so about the Prophet Muhammad. Blasphemy. They lynched her. Deborah, these are common stories that if you go online and just use those keywords, you get the full stories, right? Deborah was supposed to be a student with other students in a college. And then she complained about these guys using the supposed WhatsApp group they opened for their class, which is, said it was meant for their assignment or sharing information about their classes and all that. But they turned it into Allahu Akbar this, Allahu Akbar that, and this and that. And she complained and said, why can't you just go and do this in another group? This was supposed to be a place we share details about our classes. And right there and then, our fellow students, young kids, so they put a fatwa on her. They started looking for her. Until they found her, they started beating her, stoning her. She ran into a place for safety. Not even the security on campus could save her. Everyone left her until they killed her. When they killed her, they then burned her to ashes. Her killers then made videos. Now, when people started complaining and screaming that why would this happen, that was when the supposed Islamic moderates, they came out. Don't say what you don't know. What she did is wrong. Why would she say something like that about a prophet? If she wouldn't, they started blaming her. And this is the modus. This is the style. The terrorists, the young terrorists that killed that young lady, they walked free. Free. You know why they walk free? I'll tell you. They arrested some of them. When the whole uproar was much, they arrested some of them. Took them to court. Then the person who took them, the body that took them to court was the police. In that same, Shokoto, it was the police. It be the police who brought the case to court. If they had intention of convicting these murderers, these young terrorists, right? They have all the evidence. They even confessed that they did it. They confessed. Then the police stopped going to court. For straight 8 months, police stopped going to court. So court adjourned. On the third adjournment, court dismissed the case. That's how they escaped justice. And yeah, there was never any uproar from any of these moderate Islamic Muslims that, no, not like that much. I'm not saying there are not people who even look beyond being Muslims. Even if they are not Muslims, they will condemn stuff like that, and they did condemn it. I'm not ruling that out. Too. I'm just saying that the moment you think it is a competition where murderers, terrorists are killing your fellow countrymen, but because you know the foundation, you know what is driving them, but you just can't really confront it in that sense. Now, when they commit all this murder and people started screaming, then you come out and say, but there are other Muslims killed too. Why were you quiet? Why were you quiet? Why is it now, or every time they bring this up about these murderers, that you now remember that they are trying to tarnish, either to tarnish the Fulani, to tarnish the North, to tarnish Muslims? Why are you always triggered only when people who have become their consistent victims screams up again, or whenever they are screaming gains more attention, either globally as well, right, or even locally? Is the moment you guys crawl from your sewage to come out and say they are saying something about Muslims. They are no, come on. Everybody is a victim of this whole mess. There are some of you who probably even want the chaos that way. There are victims who would never possibly want this to happen to anyone else. So the right thing is that APC must go. APC must be destroyed, or they will complete the destruction, the division, the burning down of that contraption. I've said this before. The breakup of Nigeria is not going to be because somebody like me is advocating, let us peacefully break up, or maybe going own way, No, that's not what we break up Nigeria. Keeping Nigeria together is not going to be because you somehow convince yourself that Nigeria being together is the best thing to have ever happened, or that will ever happen after the invention of a sliced bread. That is not what will keep Nigeria together. It is the actions and the inactions of the rogues in charge of that in charge of Nigeria that will decide or determine if Nigeria will break violently, peacefully, or if Nigeria is going to remain. Not what you and I think or do for now. It is what they do or fail to do. And you are seeing the whole thing unraveling right now. You are seeing the whole thing unraveling as they are thinking that with propaganda they can keep the entire contraption together longer. But we are seeing it. It's just a matter of time. Now put that aside. Another thing that I believe you should possibly be aware of is that the ongoing trade war between PENGASSAN and Dangote. A few days ago, Dangote announced the sack of, hang on, somebody is calling in. Before I jump into Dangote's story. Here, yeah. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. The general.
Oh, hello there. How are you? Is that Bola Penga?
Yeah, this is Bola Penga. How are you, sir?
Good afternoon. Sorry, good evening. I think you are pretty much like solid now. How are you?
Yeah, we're evening now. Yeah, this is 6:15 p.m.
6:16, did you say?
This is 6:15 p.m. in Dubai.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to chip in one contribution, one or two.
Please, so go ahead.
You see, it's what is happening on Dangote and Nigeria. You know, this man, this PENGASSAN, I think it's PENGASSAN, the president of the union.
Yeah.
I think he's working hand in hand with Kalu to frustrate Dangote. Yes. Because I just finished.
Why you think so?
Yes, because I just finished listening to Raizo. Even Ruben Abati was very furious on that man called Pengassan. You know, they said some staff members of Pengassan or I think Nupeng, they are working for Dangote. So, but based on Nigerian law, they have the right to work for Dangote and also be in any union because it's free. You can be in any union in Nigeria free if you are qualified.
That's right.
So the pressure is that I think they are trying to put it on Dangote that the staff members working for him, why they are also in Nupeng. Even some of them are members of Pegasus. So they are trying to put it that maybe they are spying on I don't know. So they have twisted the whole story against Dangote right now, and Dangote have suspended selling of his fuel to Nigeria.
Right. I'm about to talk about the Pengassan though, but your own insight into it, based on what you have heard, it's probably not off the mark. The mess is very big right now, okay? And it's easier to probably build a conspiracy theory around it because the whole thing reeks of somebody who has been around for a while, and that is Dangote. Dangote is an exploiter. He exploits people, but at the same time, he says, he's not, that he is paying his own fair share of what the law says. But in the long run, okay, the Pengassan believes that if the incursion of Dangote into oil business, if it is not by any chance controlled now, it will become so huge that it's going to consume all of them. So in order to avoid any of that, everybody is trying to probably safeguard or protect their interests. And as for Dangote, he himself is like, no, you guys, Pengassan, No Peng, all these funny guys, you guys are just as corrupt. In fact, because you are mostly the system. Because you are the ones who ran down the Nigerian refinery. So if you care so much about Nigeria, why didn't you guys use your money, fix the refineries, start refining the products yourselves, and participate in the market rather than being the police of the market? So everybody is trying to argue their own way because Dangote is like, I sack my workers because I want to prevent a sabotage. Because
do you know, sir?
Yeah.
The general. Do you know the Pengassan and the president? I think he said it openly on the air that he will invite over 200 petroleum companies in Nigeria, and they will fight Dangote together. And even Ruben Abati said that is by now DSS should have arrested that man.
I know a lot of them have been saying a lot of things.
That's about.
I know.
The economy of Nigeria. A man who single-handedly built himself a refinery worth $20 billion. I know that Dangote too has benefited from the system, but believe me, for this particular issue now, he is on the side of the masses. He's on the side, and that is why they are fighting him. That is why they are fighting him because he is trying to crash the price of the fuel.
Right.
Yes. You know, he imports crude oil from I think East Africa and USA. So I think they are scared that Dangote might crash oil price, like fuel price, to 600, to maybe early next year.
Okay. And you believe that?
But, he has the power. He has the weight. I tell you, I said that Kolu is aware. Kolu is on the side of Pengassan. That is why Kolu is mute. Even Ruben Abati said that President of Nigeria is mute because he's benefit is like on the side of. He has already picked sides. That is why he's working on the ground, doing underground instruction, commanding them what to do to deal with Dangote. And right now, Dangote said that he has run out of crude of Naira, so he won't be able to sell petrol to Nigeria anymore. The crude left in his own stock is the one he paid with dollars. So he will sell to the people that will pay in dollars.
I know.
And this is what the president of Nigeria wants. They want Dangote to stop selling fuel for Nigerians. So that they will give us the price that they want. They want to give us their own price. They want to give us their own price.
In your own opinion right now, Pulapenga, right?
Mm.
In your own opinion right now, Dangote is trying to help Nigerians. Or what this Pengassan and all of them are doing is to stop that. Is that what you think? Or what Ruben Abati was saying that you're constantly...
They are on like at war against Dangote now.
Yeah, that's
and
what I mean. Like,
they are
why are they at war with Dangote?
Because of they said Dangote will crash the price.
Right.
They are scared to crash the price.
Right.
Yes. Even Rufai Hosseini said that why would Nigeria government be against a single investor, a Nigerian investor who single-handedly built a refinery worth $20 billion? Even Nigerian government as a country.
You also believe what you just said now that he single-handedly built a refinery like Rufai said and Abati. Do you believe that?
No, I know that Bukhari gave him some percentage.
No, you
I know.
Don't seem to.
Even they gave him a dollar price
about that anymore. Because you see, let me tell you something, Pola. Anyway, Pola, is there something else you want to add? Because I'm about to jump on that same issue.
Just let me hear from you, sir.
Now, I am not going to use my opinion because if I tell you what I feel, that will be my opinion. Okay. But I'm just going to use what all of them have done or said on the matter. So that we can just use that to aggregate and see. What do you think? Here you have the time, Abi.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Bless you. So normally, right, I have some clips I wanted to share earlier, but I'll go into them possibly before we go, but I'll make it quick. From the onset, the story of Dangote Refinery is a story that is rooted in what you can call a systemic fraud and corruption that meets capitalists who is also a quota system billionaire. So from the onward, when Dangote was to start, it was meant to be, like one Nigeria national refinery, but not owned by Nigeria per se. But Nigeria will do everything to make sure that it comes upstream, including signing his financial guarantor, something. I don't know if that's the right word, okay, for the international lenders to be able to give him money, apart from what Nigeria also gave him, which was supposed to be converted to shares for Nigeria. And part of that deal was that when it finishes the refinery, okay, Nigeria will likely have, let's say, about 10, 15, or 20% of the whole share. However, Nigeria is also going to subsidize its crude oil, which will supply the refinery. So in the long run, it can help stabilize how the price of oil and every other stuff associated with oil will go in the country and put an end to importation. So all of that got messed up. Okay, so halfway. Now this is Dangote Refinery. He has managed to get to 55% of his capacity, which is in itself enough, right, to supply what he's currently doing in this massive scale. The support that he used to get from the government, that he enjoyed under Bukhari, is no longer there when Tifnubu came in, because Tifnubu had interest in Malta, and all of that stuff, stories, right? But the refinery has been 55% or so completed, can produce refine and all that. So how do you then manage to convince this market that I've got what you normally go abroad to bring to the country, and listen, I've got it in abundance. Okay, so you will need all these bodies. All right, some of them, all these funny names, Nupeng, Pengassan, all this stuff, right? And then there are other government agencies too. These ones are not government agencies; they are just associations of staff. If you go and look at ASU. ASU is about staffs of universities. NUPENG is about the staffs of these oil industries and gas. PENGASSAN is about oil and gas. They are staff. They work in these places too, right?
Yes.
So they are not government agencies. They are just organizations, but constitutionally backed. Okay, they have backing. Now, Dangote would have to do two things: work with these existing organizations for the smooth operation of his business, and at the same time, try to convince the ones who are like the government agencies that will actually approve the quality, the standard of his product before it goes to the market. So he faced serious corruptions there. You see, the part of this PENGASSAN and the rest shouldn't be so complex. All right. The argument of Dangote is that when this whole thing started, he came up with the idea of, you know what, I could actually bypass these guys if I have my own staff and we have our own trucks, so we can kind of like, you know, make everything in-house rather than live by the conditions of these organizations who will always be coming with different ridiculous things. That was not enough. By law, the workers, the staff are allowed to join unions. Do you understand? Like, it is not even debatable. It must be voluntary. Nobody should be forced. So you can be working for Dangote and say, I'm not joining any union. Nobody will hold you. So, but Dangote felt like, with his experience or possibly what he knows about these unions and all that in Nigeria, interrupting his business or what are his services and all that, and he didn't want to. So he ordered for his trucks. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, PENGASSAN felt like he's about to double cross them. Okay? That's number one. They used to be those, including NUPENG, they used to be those in charge of bringing fuel to Nigeria and at the same time transporting it all over Nigeria. It has always been their, you know, their place. So what Dangote is trying to do right now is to take half of the market for himself. And if that's going to happen, he can't do just that without them being part of it. So the argument, that was the first argument. So then they agreed. They said, you know what? Let the staff join. Anybody who wants to join should go and join. So Dangote felt like he's already done an in-house arrangement that they won't join these people. At most, maybe they will see maybe 10, 20 people. To the surprise of Dangote, over 2,000 of his staff joined within 48 hours. Immediately, within themselves, they have appointed PENGASSAN branch of Dangote office. These are people who are already working with Dangote. They have already appointed them as executives. So, which means it's already taking roots. So, to Dangote, Wala is not with just PENGASSAN. No. Will I say there are internal saboteurs ready to do whatever these guys are pushing? No. So, his own action was, let me sack all of them, which is also very wrong. Constitutionally, he can't just sack people. Do you get that now? But all of that in his own way is to react to see if he could get them to bend down for him. Now, the argument out there right now is they are trying to play on people's emotion. There is law, there is business. So, by all standard, every business like that will be protected. Okay? But there is also a law that says everyone because everyone that is going to work in the business, it is what they do that will thrive the business. It is what they do that will succeed the business. You understand? So the dialogue should be around what, you know, they could possibly like compromise and say, you know, I will leave that. I will leave this. Sort of. It is Nigeria. But you're playing on people's emotion right now. Dangote is spending money, paying influencers. This is how this is how the society runs, Baba. Sure you get.
Even yesterday, this guy, what's his name? The Kelvin. This Kelvin guy, energy expert on Arise. I think yesterday, or was it yesterday? He was blasting this PENGASSAN and then he told him that they were the people.
You will see others.
They were the people that
Penga. You will also see others who are defending PENGASSAN. All you have to do is just listen to all the arguments. And you are likely going to know
Even that yesterday, the man told him, the man told Kevin that Dangote is trying to buy the media.
Because
The man told Kevin, yes, that
those who are fighting Dangote are also using media, don't you think?
Yeah,
they are also using media.
Yeah,
they are telling people that Dangote is a monopoly man. He lost monopoly, is this or that. He wants to,
Yes.
So Dangote is also paying
Thank you very much for
the media to say
thank you very much
people want to destroy something that we should be proud of. You get what I mean? They are all doing all of this. But Dangote is going to be the one that is going to win because Nigeria is a lawless place.
Thank you very much, Baba. Thank you for the breakdown. Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Stay safe, yeah, that's a brother.
Thank you.
So that's what I wanted to say before Pulapenga called in. So what then happened was that the impression that Dangote Refinery is Dangote Refinery is not totally true. You understand? It's not totally true. And I'm not making things up as well. Nigeria gave Dangote, right, a surplus cash of over $9 billion. I didn't make that up. I didn't say that. There is evidence, that document evidence over this. There is a visual, there's video evidence. So to the point that when they made this arrangement, it was around that COVID period when those who were supposed to fund Dangote's refinery construction and completion were unable to because of COVID. And you all know that, right? Then Bokwari and Emefiole put 1 and 2 together, ferry some of this cash with the promise. That's what Dangote said. Dangote said they would give him a certain amount of money. He will give them a certain amount of shares in the refinery. But Nigeria only gave him, this is what Dangote said, Nigeria only gave him $1.5 billion. But they promised him the crude oil equivalent of about $7 or $8 billion, that they didn't give him cash of 10 billion or 9 billion. That they promised to give him crude oil of that value. But Nigeria gave him 1.5 billion because Nigeria was supposed to give him 3-point-something billion. I'm using random figures now because this is the closest I can remember of the figures. So Nigeria was supposed to, this is what Dangote said. Dangote said, no, Nigeria did not give him 10 billion for his refinery. That what Nigeria did was that they had an arrangement. Nigeria was going to give him 3-point-something billion cash. Plus, about 6 billion or so dollars worth of a crude oil, right? So, in a space of certain time, in return, Dangote will give Nigeria, which is the NNPC, on behalf of Nigeria, they will give NNPC Nigeria about 20% shares in the Dangote refinery when it is completed. But he said they only gave him $1.5 billion, and they gave him less than $100 million worth of crude oil. So in that sense, he reduced the shares he wanted to give Nigeria to 5% from 20%. True story. That's how Nigeria money got involved in this. But Nigeria money that is involved in is actually more than that. But that's Dangote's explanation. So he didn't single-handedly build any refinery. No, he didn't. Yeah, Nigeria messed up the arrangement they had with him. But that doesn't mean that Nigeria shouldn't still protect that they've done, at least. But don't be deceived. If anybody tells you that Dangote is trying to reduce the price of whatever for you, you will be too gullible to believe that. Don't ever believe that. Right? So, Dangote now felt like his own staff possibly have betrayed him. That he is fighting for his life when a supposed government agency said the product from his refinery that is certified pure, standard, or premium rather, An agency of Nigerian government said it is not, just to sabotage him. He fought that, he managed to wriggle around it, even though it is still there, but they pretended to have settled it. Then these truckers, it seems to have figured out how to get rid of them by bypassing them. But that seems to be not enough. So he now felt like, it's true, I agree that everybody should go and sign up. Everyone who wants to join PENGASSAN should go and join them. I didn't expect you to actually join them. Do you get that now? I mean, I didn't expect you to actually join them. Now you have joined them. I mean, so he sacked 800 that are like direct staff of the refinery. 800. But I think I had a video. I had a video of them still wondering what they are going to do with them. Look at them.
This Dangote Refinery and petrochemical stuff, the time now is 7:44, and they've been here since around 5:30. They've been denied access to go into the plant, and there is no prior communication. They've tried to talk with the securities as to why is this happening, and there has been no communication. They said we are going to be addressed by the superiors, and the superiors are yet to come and address us. So this is the situation right now on ground. We are saying this just to avoid a turnout of information. Something might be said which is not right. So this is the stand now. We are here and we've been denied access. So this is what is going on.
You get it now? So you're like, you're all sacked. What did we do? So no, we don't trust you. We don't trust you. We thought all of you are with Dangote, and you went on to go and join PENGASSAN. So this is why the PENGASSAN are now saying they would. I've got a caller. Let's take it. Hello.
Hello, Bayegu Baba.
Yes, sir. Baba.
I greet you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Thank you, Baba. How are you?
I'm fine. We thank God. We thank God for everything. Bayegu, I just want to thank you for, the good work you are doing. Like, for example, this whole thing you said about Dangote and exposed, it's brilliant, it's very good. And the reason why I say this is that, a lot of Nigerians do not know these things. A lot of Nigerians cannot even just read, just simple Google of what Nupeng and PENGASSAN is,
it's all about.
And then, apart from the fact that they cannot read and enlighten themselves, they are still being coerced by the information that is being put out there by these sponsors or these people that are being sponsored by this.
The infomedia war.
Exactly.
You get what I mean? People
infomedia war.
Because you can even be so educated, intelligent, and you won't even know that your mind is being managed.
You won't even know. Exactly. Do you understand? Because what people don't understand is that Nupeng and PENGASSAN represent oil workers in the industry.
That's right.
Whether government, whether private. Nupeng is for those that are straight specialists, the truck drivers, the people that load the trucks with the crude oil. All those people that do the hard
and all that.
Exactly. All those technical people that didn't really go to university. No, I know they're like that's why I say they are trade specialists.
Oil industry.
Exactly.
Oil industry.
Exactly. Exactly. The men on ground doing the actual work with the crude and all that.
That's right.
Why the PENGASSAN is more or less like the elite of the Nupeng, like the supervisors, the accountants, those that actually work in the office, the engineers, the supervisors of those people doing that work. That's what PENGASSAN is. Do you understand? So it was still on this your program. I saw that he put security men outside. I think you have played that video before where he put security men outside and they allowed only Indians and Pakistanis in and they kept the Nigerians outside.
But I'm glad you mentioned it. I even have a clip of the guy who is that Indian guy who is their vice, what do you call that, CEO or something. That Indian guy.
Exactly.
Who was talking about how he didn't give a shit about Nigerian this thing, they are this, they are that.
Do you understand?
Go on, Baba.
But and you see, because when I see Nigerians trying to support Dangote, I ask myself, why are you supporting an elite? First of all, how can Dangote be the richest black man?
National pride, like they did Dangote.
Okay, Dangote Cement. How can someone be the richest black man in a country that has the highest amount of poor people in the world? Does it make any sense? It doesn't.
No.
This man is only trying to abuse labor, and he's setting a dangerous precedence in the industry, because if Dangote can get away with sacking people because they joined, all other IOCs will start doing that.
It's a matter of time.
They'll start paying their workers crazy wages, abuse, no benefits, health benefits, all those things that are toxic. This is how it gradually.
If you disagree, you get terminated right away.
They will fire you, and there's nothing that will happen. Exactly. He's setting the precedent. It's exactly what is happening in the banking industry. Many people didn't know that there was a strong union in banks before Obasanjo came. There were strong union in banks. You can't just sack bank workers. What Obasanjo came to do that, he removes that from, I don't know what list, I put it in something like emergency list, like police. He now put banking like police, military. So you cannot go on strike. If you go on strike, they can fire you and nothing will happen. Do you understand? And I think the most important thing to take away from this Dangote situation is that all these things he's doing reflect negatively on, we black people that are abroad. Do you understand? He has employed an Indian to manage his company. Do you understand? Indians know that it's an Indian that is heading Nigeria's indigenous oil company. Now he still fires them in a humiliating manner. Tell me how these people will not be racist and condescending towards us in this place. They are even racist and condescending towards black people. How much more now that he's doing it? They will be like, you guys are not even, you don't even have the brain to even get work in your own company, and you're coming here. Do you understand? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Right, Baba, you there abroad now. You know how they go now.
See, they already
Baba, you know how they go now.
It's not being said by Indians. It's being said by Nigerians. That if the Nigerians are the ones managing that Dangote, they would have ruined it. Now, how to destroy it, they would be.
You can imagine.
I don't blame Dangote.
You can imagine.
Me too, we employ Indians, Nigerians already on social media. In case if
Nigerians, you understand? You can imagine how these people are. It is sad. Honestly, it's sad. Baba, thank you so much for all you are doing.
Mental defeatism or something where people mentally
defeat
themselves and say, you know what, it's true. I've said this many times when people come out and say, we people, we are evil. I say, no, hey, that we is a general noun. So please, you need to kind of rephrase that, because there are those who knows that, Nigerians, there are those who ordinarily will say they deserve a certain treatment, and others will say, oh, they don't deserve any better treatment per se, like we are not deserving. I'm like, why are you so self-defeating? Like, Papa?
You understand? This thing now that Dangote did, can he try it if his company is based in abroad? Okay, sure, he wanted to buy Arsenal one time. If he had bought Arsenal, you just, now, if you sack 2,000 workers abroad, the money you will pay in emoluments, entitlement, all those things, for even announcing it in that matter, the government will nationalize the company immediately. As in, the company will be shut down, and it's not straight law called theft, because you abuse the rights of their people. You abuse the rights of their people by locking them out in the night, by firing them for joining labor union. You have just abused your right, but an arbitration they go.
You get.
But they tell you, and you will lose.
Like
you will definitely lose.
3 days before you sack all of them, you said you agree with this same this same PENGASSAN. You had a meeting with a minister. Yes, 2 ministers were there. You had a meeting, and at that meeting, you all agreed that you know what, the law says they could join. Oh, you can't say they can't. What happened is there must be first. He said, okay, then that's the case, that's fine. And he put out a statement. I shared that on this platform. He put out a statement and he said, whoever wanted to go and join should go and join, okay? And they should do so before the 28th of September. Do you remember? He said before 28th of September, everybody should finish that, what they want to do. Boom. On the 29th, or should I say on that same 28th, they announced their sack. Like, who does that? Then everywhere
you understand. His plan is to abuse labor.
You get
Baba. His plan is to abuse labor.
Union kill an NPC. Now union kill right. Now
I still say union company of an NPC. You understand? Because people will not just study all these things. Just take your time. For 5 minutes, go on Google. What is Nopeng? What is Pengassi? What they were set up to do? people cannot. They're just supporting the man. Meanwhile, this man has $2.something billion of Nigerians' money in his refinery.
That's right.
He's sacking Nigerians. He's sacking Nigerians and keeping Indians and Pakistanis.
It's almost like
he's an Uncle Tom
in the conversation. Like, why is that insignificant in the conversation?
Why is
that money put in that? I'm not saying that because Nigeria put money there, then that gives PENGASSAN this. No. It is the law that gives the PENGASSAN and the others this dragging. They are dragging themselves. But what happened to that Nigeria's investment in that place is barely mentioned. Barely.
It's barely mentioned. Nigeria invested dollars into billions of dollars. That same amount that Nigeria invested could be used to build at least 4 refineries, producing 150,000 barrels. Yes, that money can be used to build 4 refineries, producing 150 or 200,000 barrels a day. But Nigeria invested in it, and he has the right to sack workers because he's the Lord and Master of Nigeria. Do you understand? It's just crazy, Maher. It's just crazy.
It is.
Baba, well done, well done. Yeah, take care.
You too. Have a good morning. It's crazy. Seriously. But this is my own opinion now. Okay? Let us all agree that Dangote is a businessman. So his business practice is very much at par with the law. He's not breaking any law. So what that then simply means is that the PENGASSAN and the New Peng and others who are very much ready to, because they've announced the shutting down of crude supply. I don't even understand what that means, right? There's a valve that supplies crude to the refinery. Do you understand? Like the valve, like that, like pipe. So they've disconnected it, meaning Dangote Refinery is currently shut down. Yeah, currently shut down. And they are saying that it would need to reinstate those 800 direct refinery staffs that is sacked. Before any conversation can even continue, they must first reinstate them. But the Bonu Nigerians, the Ronukus and others who have been pushing their conspiracy theories, it's America that is trying to destroy Dangote. This is what the West always do. They are trying to use it. Listen, just read. Possibly stop listening to some of these acts on on your TV, because they can be intentionally obtuse. For instance, obviously, read what's going on. Dangote deserves protection. I agree, but it shouldn't be at the expense of your blood. And throw that thought away. Dangote is trying to crash the price of petroleum, like, dead that thought to start with. Okay? And yeah, their law says their staff who are also they said their interests will be protected by their this or that. They said it is their law. Now it may have the power to possibly cut them off and not make any much, I don't know how he's gonna do that. They have hang on. PUC, they call them Trade Union Congress. Yeah, that guy, that Afro guy, yeah. So he was on channels. I think it was with Shehu last night, because they are all now threatening to join the strike in forcing the hands of Dangote, or they would sabotage the operation of his refinery, starting with the shutdown that the PENGASSAN has already initiated, according to reports. Right? Now listen to this TUC guy concerning this Dangote refineries and PENGASSAN debacle.
To the question as to how Dangote sees this situation, he sees this as a terror attack on the nation's economy, as a sabotage. And I remember former the military head of state and the military dictator General Sani Abacha, in his speech, this was when MK Abiola declared himself the president and the winner of that election. It was around the same time that PENGASSAN and New Peng, it's just so sharp in my memory how the military dictator at the time, in his military uniform, on the national television on NDNT at the time declared Nupeng and Pengassan's action as illegal, disbanded the association's leadership, and says that they cannot do what they did. Similar to what we are having, are you worried that such a treatment can be melted on the association if it's seen as a sabotage on the economy, an economy that is trying to get back on stream after some kind of disruptions and economic problems that we have experienced in the past few months?
Show the position, the people that fought that struggle then, they were given national award later on, 30 years later. The people that led that struggle then, they were not just given national awards, some were given posthumous award. Then the struggle that was led as a then, the agitation as a then, MK Abiola was pronounced as the Nigerian president that was never sworn in. So that has even vindicated Pengassan. That has even clearly shown that Pengassan, we are intellectuals. We are not rascals. We are knowledgeable people. We are people that understand how...
So you are not worried about a government clampdown in the case of a possible economic sabotage being tagged or seen into all of this?
The person that is sabotaging Nigerian economy is Aliko Dangote. Aliko Dangote is whom he is today because of Nigeria. Nigeria gave him a license to import flour, single license. Nigeria gave him single license to import sugar, single license to import salt. The refinery that Dangote built is our money. With the Nigerian government subsidized first for him to build that refinery, and some of the funds that they gave to him found itself in Uganda. Find itself, he was using Nigerian money to be building what he was building in another part of the world. So the person sabotaging Nigerian economy is Aliko Dangote and his co-travelers.
It seem like the fearsome people around Aliko Dangote is to the effect of some of the things you have said tonight, that Pengassan and Nupeng and the likes are being sponsored and used by the enemies of Dangote to sabotage the refinery and make the biggest investor and the biggest employer in the private sector in Nigeria look bad. Whereas the man says he's into an economic disruption for good, economic reforms for good of the nation. And the fact that you and your friends want the status quo to remain, this is now a new dawn, a new era in economic development of our nation. What does it look like? You are speaking in the language of the enemies of Dangote, and they said this is just a sponsored attack on the man.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
As we move into the 2026-2030 period, GP has laid out a renewed investment case with an ambition to mobilize at least $5 billion. This level of funding is critical to unlocking the leverage, innovation, and outcomes that low-income countries need to drive sustainable progress. Why should world leaders and finance ministers prioritize this replenishment now?
Shut up. So something up on my screen just froze, so I had to refresh, sadly. But that was not that bad, right? So you had Sheung, that's Sheung that I said, New Sans Lily. Because Sheung with his question. So that is the narrative they are pushing. Okay? This ordinarily should be straightforward. All right? There's so many dark sides to the whole thing. This entitlement that naturally should exist simply because there are few Nigerians, not many, that are aware that indeed Dangote has been excessively favored by the successive regime in Nigeria, which in itself ordinarily shouldn't be a bad thing. Growing your local industries, empowering them enough to be competitive with others all over the world. That's a good thing. But that should also have its own advantage on the locals. Such gains should ordinarily be easily defined and domesticated that it is easily understood the importance of this national economic drive. But these guys have always been the economic saboteur of Nigeria. But in the midst of that, the privilege indeed got extended enough that Dangote could set up plant to produce the same thing that he got the sole license for, to implement the sole import license for. So that's going to be like a good thing, because Nigeria has been known to be import dependent for years, courtesy of these unscrupulous elements who are making decisions for the country over the years. So, however, if you have now established an industry as important as a refinery, and you want to link it to a national consciousness of the people, there should be some, like I said, easily defined benefits from such, not make up or made up fantasies about what it is going to be for you when you are actually not seeing what it is for you directly now. So that is that has kind of like made it more impossible or difficult for those who know the truth to accept the lies in its place. Dangote as a business, an exploitative one for that matter, he enjoyed the government protection, including monetary provisions for all of his business adventures, including as much as the government even formulating policies that will be much, much beneficial to Dangote and detrimental to his competitors. These are verifiable facts. Others will say business is like war, right? And in this instance, right, you shouldn't keep prisoners if you want to survive in the business world. Fine. But we are talking about the direct benefit where somebody wants to make you fight and say, oh, they are sponsoring people against me. All these guys who are, all these PENGASSAN, all these New Peng, all these guys, they are saboteurs who are working against me in order to mask the people's questions. Not that people will probably get any answer, because those who are really meant to be asking these questions, protecting the interest of the people, the workers, the people and every one of them, they are very much in bed with Dangote. So it seems. Because in the same hand, Dangote himself is making everybody believe that the real reason why he's facing all these guys or facing all these problems right now with these guys was because the government is probably behind it. Remember, Tifnumbu and Malta, easy. Say, oh yeah, that's true. Ignoring all the obvious questions that really gets people anxious. People are not making these things out of the blues. You get what I mean? I'm going to pay you this so amount. The industry standard. Oh, I'm going to pay you above the industry standard. And then you're going to have this welfare and all of that. Those are open stuff that any business or any employer should be proud to open their book and say, well, what exactly is New Peng asking for? What exactly is the PENGASSAN asking for? So that we can probably probe it and see if some of them are so ridiculous enough to say, oh, why are you asking him for this? You didn't ask same from, you know what I mean? But they are all modeling the whole thing up right now, like they are modeling it up enough that it's about pointing fingers. This one is after me. We must do this. Government needs to prescribe them. They are enemies of Nigeria. Politicians are very good in using the word enemy for those they disagree with. Do you understand? Or haven't you noticed? Politicians, whenever they are talking about those who disagree with them or those in opposite, who have opposite views, they call them enemies. And the media help them to amplify that by using the word, are you not enemy of? Are you sure you are not? People are saying that you are enemies of. They are putting that enemy in your subconsciousness. Slowly, little by little, before you know it, you begin to look at the whole issue from the vantage position of friend, enemy. Objectivity won't matter anymore. Logic won't matter anymore. All other nuances that possibly shouldn't even matter will become, the real thing that gets your core attention. And that's how propaganda works. And before you know it, you are already regurgitating what you read or what you heard. Because it's about enemy and friends. Enemy and friends. You're either for me or against me. And in that sense, the propaganda works. I've seen it many times. You can just sack 800 people like that. Over 2,000 people. Then 800 of them call. Come on, like that in itself is just going to probably give credence to the argument of these workers. You get what I mean? Like, this is what he does. This is what he's willing to do. You want to be able to do this or that without anybody challenging him. And then you just prove them right. In my own opinion. So it gets that this whole thing can walk around you and you won't even know that they are working on you. Nigeria needs economic stability. Those in charge making that decision are compromised. Those who are doing business in the place believe that they are doing business with sharks. And in that regard, they must be as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than those that they are doing the business with. In the long run, the consumers, you, are the real victims. Because your interest, there's something called the Consumer Protection Law, I think. And these are the laws that protects you and stops the greed of the, what do they call them again? The elites, no. Yeah, I think the elites. Stop their greed. Because without serious protection, regulations that are very strict regulations, guys like Dangote and many like him, they will do anything and everything to rip you off. Yeah. And walk away. Get away with it. So Dangote's refinery should be protected against any saboteurs. I agree. So should the interest of those who are going to be part of that should be protected. And if there's any outrageous demand in that regard, those should be pointed out. So far, so good. None has pointed out like what is outrageous, so to say, about the demand of the the PENGASSAN. I was here the other day initially when I said, oh, they were doing all of this because they felt like they are going to lose money, which is true, but it is more than that. From what I have now gathered, it's more than that. So Dangote is selling the idea of, I'm trying to protect my business. That's not how you protect your business. You know what I mean? If you want to protect your business, then whatever is the concern of those who are going to be working in your business, you know what I mean, should be paramount too. And that shouldn't be something that people can't open your book for. Again, my opinion. So now let's leave the PENGASSAN for a second and stop by in Lagos, where the victims of the Oworonshoki demolition are sharing their personal experiences. But one or two. There is an old man who lost his property to the demolition.
At this my age, multi-lady 70. So, anything can happen after 70. So, mbodi first law. Iṣẹ́ wo ni mo fẹ́ ṣe tí mo fẹ́ fi túkọ̀ lé
So ẹ bá wa gba ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn rò dáadáa kẹ́ ẹ gbà pé ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀yin gangan ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Wọ́n lè ní àgbà tán là ń gba ọ̀lẹ. So àwa.
Sorry about that. There's something else I wanted to put up as well. This was it. The co-CEO with Dangote talking about their staff, Nigerians who are working for them.
And at that time, I said, I've been a trader all my life. I do not want trade unions coming into my business. I told him, till I became a business head, I have been a trade union leader. As a manager, I have got 2 of my bosses removed as a trade union leader. So I know how to manage trade unions. I have just leave it to me. Just work this way. I said, okay, it's not difficult. Because if you allow difference of opinion and problems to start brewing in your company, and if you don't address it, you can get into this kind of problem. As I said, initially I started talking about families. You don't have trade unions within your family. I know the Nigerian families are quite large, with children from different mothers and all that, but still.
There's not somebody who is really impressed about unions and all that. And when you are dealing with Nigerians, you know, they can be very, very tricky. And that is why he himself as a manager is at the experience with Nigerians. And, you know, the issue of having a union is, it's like giving people one foot. And they're going to take like about 10 feet afterward. So to say. Let's call it a noon. And thanks for your time. I will see you later this evening, hopefully. But until then, remember, like the broadcast if you haven't already. Share it too. And a very good afternoon to you.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary na ibi number 1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Àyè.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.